The moment I'll remember most from these Olympics is watching Russian figure skater Camila Valeeva collapse entirely during her free skate and the raw emotion she showed afterward. She entered as a gold medal favorite but looked so broken in these moments. She was allowed to compete despite a positive drug test in December, and that made her a controversial figure in Beijing. But this disastrous performance sent Valeeva to 4th place, and as the final athlete to skate, the competition ended on a somber note, with Valeeva inconsolable.
One of the defining moments of the Beijing Games for me will be Lindsey Jacobellis' first career gold medal, 16 years after an infamous early celebration cost her first place at the 2006 Games. It was really powerful listening to this 36-year-old woman talking about how she refused to let one mistake define what has been a really dominant career. It was really exemplary of why so many experienced athletes had success in Beijing. Something that Jacobellis said was, I've got my life figured out more than I did when I was 20 years old. I've got a support system, and I was able to weather this because of that. She thinks that's definitely what contributed to her gold.
One of the highlights of Beijing came not from a competition, but after it. China secured its first medal of these Winter Games in a dramatic speed skating victory over Italy. Afterward, a sparse crowd cheered and waved flags, and the Olympic volunteers, those local university students and teachers we've come to experience behind ropes and help desks, formed a forest of hands to high-five the medal winners. Later that night, when the spectators and the journalists cleared, those volunteers, draped in Beijing 2022 puffer coats and pins, poured onto the ice to glide and twirl like the Olympians we came to watch. So much of the corruption, the human rights abuses, and the political issues surrounding the Olympics can dampen the mood. But in moments like this, it was about the people who left their family and friends to enter the closed loop just like us.
I'll never forget covering the Chinese-American skier Eileen Gu at the Beijing Olympics. Born and raised in San Francisco, Gu chose to ski for her mother's native China in 2019 and has been such a subject of controversy here, in part because of the low point that US and China relations are at right now. To watch an 18-year-old skier deal with all that pressure while becoming the first action sport athlete to ever win 3 medals at an Olympic game was really fascinating, and she dealt with all of that with such aplomb and poise, especially for a teenager, before admitting to us at her last event where she took gold in halfpipe that, this has been a really hard 2 weeks for her.
A moment I'll remember from the Beijing Olympics is standing on top of a cold set of metal bleachers in the mountains, waiting on a Chinese cross-country skier who never came. The night before the women's skiathlon, very early in the competition, Yilamujiang Dinajir had taken part in the symbolic cauldron lighting at the opening ceremonies. She is a member of the ethnic Uyghur population. Human rights experts saw that choice as the Chinese government provoking and even goading the world, sending a message that it was an inoppressive nation. Experts and advocates will tell you it is anything but. Yilamujiang had finished 43rd, well back in the pack, as expected. She never did come through the mix zone, the maze-like area where athletes are typically required to walk past reporters. A venue manager came up and told reporters the athletes could not be found and the reporters needed to leave. That little moment informed, for me, what was really going on at these Olympics underneath all the athletic glory and competitive agony.